She sat alone, quietly eating her lunch. 4 young recruits spotted her, the only woman in the mess hall, and decided to have some fun. 45 seconds later, trays were flying, tables were turned, and every soldier in the room stood frozen. What happened next became a story whispered across the entire base. Before we jump into this shocking true military story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Army Stories, where real courage, discipline, and honor come alive. You don't want to miss what happens next. The mess hall at Fort Armitage buzzed with the usual midday chaos. Boots clanking, laughter echoing, and the faint metallic scent of weapon oil that seemed to cling to everything on base. It was recruit week and tensions were high. The new guys were still learning how to march, salute, and keep their tempers in check. At the far end of the room by the window sat a woman in standard fatigues. Her uniform looked ordinary, her hair tied tight under her cap, no rank insignia visible. To the fresh recruits, she looked like a fellow trainee, maybe someone they hadn't met yet. Private Denson was the first to notice her. He nudged his buddy Miller, whispering with a smirk, "Looks like we've got some company, boys." "Finally, a break from all these dudes." Miller laughed, and the 2 others, Torres and Green, followed suit. They were cocky, exhausted, and hungry for any kind of entertainment. They walked over to her table. She didn't look up. She kept eating quietly, spoon scraping the metal tray. Denson leaned in. "Hey," he said with a grin, "you lost or something?" "This side's usually for the big boys." She paused, set her spoon down, and looked up slowly. Her eyes, calm, sharp, unshaken, met his. "I'm exactly where I need to be," she said evenly. Miller chuckled. "You sure? Maybe you're in the wrong uniform." The kitchen's down the hall. The laughter around them grew louder. A few other recruits watched, whispering, amused. The woman didn't move. Her silence, instead of making her look weak, made the 4 of them uneasy. Then she stood up. It was the way she stood that changed the air. It wasn't rushed or defensive. It was deliberate, balanced, every motion controlled. The recruit stepped back instinctively. "Back off," Green said, trying to sound tough, though his voice cracked. "We were just joking." But the woman took 1 step closer. "You think this is a joke?" she asked softly. Denson rolled his shoulders, trying to brush off the sudden chill that ran down his spine. "Relax, we're just—" He didn't finish. In one fluid motion, she grabbed Denson's wrist, twisted it, and had him on the floor before anyone could blink. Miller lunged forward. His tray went flying. She sidestepped, tripped him with her boot, and he landed face first on the tiles. Torres reached out to grab her arm, and found himself slammed against the table edge, breathless. Green froze, eyes wide. It was over in 45 seconds. Silence filled the mess hall. The woman straightened her cap, picked up her tray, and looked around at the stunned faces. "Next time," she said calmly, "pick your targets more carefully." Then she walked out as if nothing had happened. The recruits scrambled to their feet, stunned and humiliated. Denson rubbed his wrist, muttering, "Who the hell is she?" The mess sergeant, who had been watching from behind the counter, just smiled faintly. "You boys just tried to mess with Chief Petty Officer Anna Reyes," he said. "Former Navy SEAL. She trains us now." A ripple of disbelief spread through the room. Every head turned toward the door where she'd just walked out. The recruits never forgot that day, and neither did anyone else on base. Before Chapter 2 begins, remember, if you're hooked already, make sure to subscribe to Army Stories and smash that like button. Real stories, real heroes, real lessons. Later that evening, the 4 recruits sat in the training field, waiting. Their names had been called over the intercom, ordered to report to the obstacle course at 1900 hours. No explanation, no details, just an order. The sun dipped behind the barracks, painting the sky orange. When they arrived, Chief Reyes was already there. She stood in front of the rope climb, arms crossed, face unreadable. "You 4 think training ends in the mess hall?" she asked. No one spoke. They stood rigid, every bit of their earlier arrogance gone. "I'm not here to embarrass you," Reyes continued. "I'm here to make you understand something you clearly missed: respect." She paced slowly in front of them. "You think being strong means showing off. You think rank or gender defines worth. Out there, in combat, none of that matters. What matters is discipline, brotherhood, trust." Her voice dropped lower. "And if you can't respect the people next to you, you'll never survive together." The recruits nodded silently. Denson finally spoke up, voice low. "We're sorry, Chief." Reyes looked at him, and for the first time, A faint smile appeared. "Don't apologize to me. Prove it." She pointed to the obstacle course. "Move." They ran. Again and again. Through mud, rope climbs, balance beams. Every time one of them stumbled, she shouted, "Help him up!" Every time one fell, the others turned back. It wasn't punishment, it was a lesson in unity. After an hour, the four stood, covered in sweat and mud, but together. Reyes approached, nodded once, and said, "Now you're starting to look like soldiers." As she turned to leave, Green asked quietly, "Chief, why'd you join the SEALs?" She stopped, looked at them, and said, "Because someone once told me I couldn't." Then she walked away, just like she had in the mess hall. Silent, steady, unbreakable. That night, the recruits sat in the barracks, replaying everything in their minds. They didn't see her as just a woman anymore. They saw her as a warrior, a leader, and someone who'd earned every ounce of respect. And from that day on, whenever a new recruit entered the mess hall, the story of the woman who took down 4 men in 45 seconds became a legend, a reminder that true strength isn't loud and respect isn't optional. If you felt that story hit you right in the heart, the courage, the discipline, the lesson, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Army Stories for more real tales of bravery, leadership, and the unbreakable human spirit. Until next time, stay strong, stay humble, and never underestimate quiet strength.